The Life of Chuck has finally been released here in the UK, but was it worth the wait? Let's discuss. Hello everyone, my name is Jay and welcome to my review of The Life of Chuck. This film is written and directed by Mike Flanagan and based upon the Stephen King story of which I had not heard of, let alone read. Now, the film actually premiered over a year ago at the Toronto International Film Festival before being released in America in June of this year. However, those of us here in the UK had to wait until late August before we could even see the film. I'm going to stay away from spoilers as much as I can, although what counts as a spoiler is often relative to people, so if you don't want to know anything about the structure of the story, this is your opportunity to save the video to your watch later playlist, go and see the film, and come back later on when you've seen it. Whilst the trailers for this film were enticing, the main drawing point for me was the fact that our titular character Chuck was being played by Tom Hiddleston. I'm a big Marvel fan, and his portrayal of Loki over the past decade or so has really just propelled Tom Hiddleston into being one of my favourite actors of all time. However, what surprised me in this film, The Life of Chuck, is how little of Tom Hiddleston we actually got. The film is split into 3 parts and it's told in reverse chronology. We start with the death of Chuck before moving to his adult life and finally exploring his childhood. But that means for the first third of the film, we only ever get images and mentions of an adult Chuck. Consequently, Jacob Tremblay and Cody Flanagan appear as 17-year-old and 7-year-old Chuck respectively, though the standout for me was actually Benjamin Pajak, who I think is given the majority of the heavy work, portraying him at 11 years old. Despite Hiddleston's absence for a lot of the film though, I was still interested. I think the unconventional narrative technique that's used really works to the film's advantage. We're not seeing things happening going, oh okay, nice callback, I understand that. We're instead seeing things happening going, oh okay, now I get it. Likewise, it sets up some genuinely intriguing mysteries like who is Charles Chuck Grant, why is the world ending, and what on earth are these 39 great years that everyone seems to be referring to? Now, we do get answers to those questions as the film unfolds, although, in my opinion, the answers are not as satisfactory as I hoped they would be. One example of this revolves around Chuck's childhood home and the cupola that's inside. He's actually told by his grandfather, played by Mark Hamill, that he's forbidden to ever enter that room. And although we get an answer later on, I struggled to believe the eventual reveal for why that actually was. I get what the movie was going for, but I just felt that the answers sometimes undercut the genuinely intriguing concepts that the movie was initially going for. People may listen to me say that and go, okay, well, you're wrong, you don't get it, that's not what the movie's about. And to that I'd argued, no, I do get it. I like the sentiment of the movie and the message that it's trying to deliver. I just wish it was executed a little better. One way the movie tries to do this is through a conversation that Chuck has with his school teacher, where she's trying to build his confidence and ends up telling him that he contains multitudes. That's actually really important, but I didn't understand how pivotal it was until much later in the film, and I kind of wish that I'd been listening better when it was first playing. The Life of Chuck is not always reliant on that mystery genre though, and that's made abundantly clear in the second act of the film, where Tom Hiddleston is let loose to shine in what's undoubtedly my favourite sequence of the entire film. It's a full-blown musical dance number that had me smiling for its entirety, where Chuck takes us right there in the scene with him, and is supported by Taylor Gordon's impressive drumming performance. I would honestly recommend going to see the film for this sequence alone. As well as this, the rest of the cast is undeniably great. You have Nick Offerman doing the narration, and he has just that perfect voice that it's hard to imagine anyone else more suited for that role. Add in Karen Gillan, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Mark Hamill, and you're cooking some good stuff. In terms of an overall rating then, I give The Life of Chuck 4 out of 5 stars. It was initially in the running to be one of my top films of the year, although just because of those unsatisfactory answers, I had to bump it down just a little. Still a good 4 out of 5. What did you think though? Did you agree? Did you disagree? Have you not seen the film? Are you going to go see it now? Please let me know by leaving a comment down below, and consider subscribing and hitting that bell so you're notified when I post a new video. That's all for now though, I'll see you next time. Bye.